Good morning from Little Willow Homestead. I was just asked to explain how to raise baby chicks, and so I came back out into the brooder so I could explain just the basics, and even I will go through some of this different ages and stages so you can kind of see some of the things that you'll need to do. So first off, I have a couple brooders that I'm getting ready right here. I've got babies coming in the mail today, and I've also got babies in the incubator that need to come out into the brooder. So first things first, this is an insulated shed that we have built brooders in. We have a heater in here. We keep it at about anywhere from 70 to 80 degrees usually. Right now it's pretty warm because it's really warm outside. So I'll turn that off, or I'll open the window just to try to keep it, below 80. When I first have babies in here, I like to have it pretty warm because those babies cannot regulate their temperature at all. So, and as you can see, I do not have heat lamps. I use these brooder plates. They are, here's the brand. I'll have to get that brand to you. But, the ones with the mama hens on top of. They actually do come with a cover. In fact, that one has a cover on it. They are a little more expensive to buy with a cover. This one is for 50 chicks, up to 50 chicks. So these are the biggest ones you can get. And of course I buy the bigger ones because I do a lot of birds. So I put pine shavings down. I use pine shavings. I've never had a problem with it. Some people say, oh, the chicks will eat it. They might peck around at it a little bit, but when you very first put them in here, I have their food and their water, and then I literally peck at the food and the water. I actually dip their beak in the water. When they're brand new babies, I dip their beak in the water and I dip their beak in the food. But then once they're done and they kind of run underneath of the heat plate and kind of run around a little bit, I'll come in here a few times during that first day and I'll peck at this, and I just make like a mama hen sound, like, and you'd be surprised. They actually come running. They want to know what you're doing. And it really does teach them where their food is at and their water. So I keep the heat plate fairly low, and I keep it further down in the back than I do the front. That way they can decide how much heat they want. So this plate underneath of here actually gets pretty warm. It gets pretty hot. This one I just plugged in a few minutes ago, so it takes about 30 minutes. You want to give it at least 30 minutes. If you can, plug it in the day before and get it good and warmed up. That way you know it's going to work well. So that's really the basics. Heat, food, water, and then after a couple of days, I will offer them chick grit. They need grit in their gizzard so that they can process the food better. It basically grinds up the food to help them digest it better. But when they're not outside, they don't have access to rocks and sand and stuff. So anyways, so heat, food, water, in a couple days, chick grit. Keep the ambient temperature warm also, super important. I'm not all about babying chicks for a really long time. So what I do is after about a week, I start to raise these up. And after a couple weeks, I'll show you guys what it will look like. So I got some back here that I hatched out. I've got a couple babies left that I kept. And their brooder is lifted pretty high now, or their brooder plate. And then, I mean, these guys are 2 weeks old. These guys are about a week older, so these guys are almost 3 weeks old. These guys I just turned off yesterday, and I will actually be taking this one out shortly. And that way, because the temperature in here is warm enough for these guys. They do not need a heat plate anymore. The temperature is kept fairly stable, so they just don't need it. And if you don't decrease the heat for them and you just throw them outside, it's a big shock for them. So it's best to decrease the heat and turn it off at least, you know, a week or so before you're gonna put them in a colder climate. And then, so those guys are about 3 weeks old. I'll show you what they go to next. So when they are about 4 weeks old, you can move them outside into a enclosed coop and run, and it's best to use something that has hardware cloth. That way nothing can stick its nasty little paws in there and grab at them. These guys aren't very intelligent. They don't go up their ramp at night, so I have to physically, manually put them up there. So what this is just a chicken tractor. It's what I like to use to put babies in if I have them obviously available. And these guys, like I said, these guys are 4 weeks. So my Marans in here are 4 weeks and the other ones are 5 this week. So, and then they'll stay in here until they're about 3 months old. And at about 2.5 months or so, you can start to open and end up and let them out with the rest of the flock, permitting that you don't have a bunch of predators and whatnot. This is something that you could actually raise chickens in if you want to. You couldn't raise this many birds in a small tractor like this, but you could raise a few birds in a tractor like this and it would work perfectly fine. So I'll show you my next stage of birds that I have. And these guys are just dying to get out. And I'm about ready to let them out. Probably within, I don't know, next couple days or so. These guys are over 2 months old. Hey guys, say hi, huh? Yeah, these guys are over 2 months old now. So in another few weeks, these guys are going to be integrated with the flock. So what you do, what works best, obviously the flock can run around and they can see these guys. And then you start to let them out. They'll continue to go back in here for a while. And then you just close it up one night and put them in the main coop and keep it closed. And eventually they will learn. You might have to do it a few times, put them in the main coop a few times, but eventually they will learn that that's where they're supposed to go. So if you have any questions, please comment below this video. Thanks for watching, guys.